Hey guys, it's Parker here, back with part 23 and 24 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So yeah, I'm gonna, as usual, record for 1 hour and then cut it into two parts. So while I mean, I, oh, just check marks, so we don't need to examine him. So, a lot has happened. While we examine, why don't we, I'm just gonna like talk about what like happened in the gaming community. So, that Bayonetta 3 trailer, am I right? I was like, I didn't really expect anything from the Nintendo Direct, winter one. I was just like, maybe some SMT5 news, like, it's just some new Nintendo games that I won't really care about. Like, yeah, there was like Project Triangle Strategy that I'm actually pretty excited about because it does remind me of Fire Emblem a lot, and I did like the demo of it, so I was planning on getting that. I was like, yay, Project Triangle Strategy, they like improved it, they listened to it, and then the Bayonetta 3 trailer happened. I was like, it's Teresa! And honestly, it got me. I thought it was like a new Astral Chain game, the sequel to it, and then I was like, oh! And then Teresa just came out with the freaking costume. I was like, oh! So yeah, I'm really excited for Bayonetta 3. It's probably gonna be a continuation from Bayonetta 1, from when we met the little Cereza, the other Cereza from the other timeline. Yeah, really excited for it. And yeah, so other than Bayonetta 3, I've also been playing this other game. It's a visual novel. Hopefully you guys are like still paying attention to examinations they're going through. I'm actually just reading it while talking and then while pressing the button, so it's actually pretty hard to multitask, but I've actually been playing this other game in my own time. It's a visual novel. I like reading visual novels in my own time. It's like my own private time. I like to relax while reading a visual novel or just other books. So yeah, wow, this visual novel is called A Summer's End, Hong Kong 1986, and it actually like released last year in like April. And wow, I really enjoyed that game. Like, first of all, the music, the music had, the music was just so powerful. Like, especially in this particular scene when a character is like dancing in the disco, like that music like really got me. I was like, wow. And yeah, the characters and the writing in it is just so highly recommended. I have so much to talk about it, but then I kind of don't want to spoil it. But like, it's about this protagonist. Her name is Michelle, and she's the office lady, and she meets this other lady. Yeah, it's a romance visual novel. It's very gay, and I just really loved it. It was just such a mood too, like just reading through it. And yeah, they meet each other and they fall in love, and it's about their stories. And wow, like the vibes in it. It was like in the late 1980s Hong Kong. So the vibes, the music, the culture, the environment, the clothes, the way they speak, like oh my goodness. It was just like a love letter to the 1980s Hong Kong. They talk a lot about the pop culture in it, like the music, the literature, the movies, like especially the movies, and wow, the fashion. Like I really if I continue talking about it, I probably would spoil it, but I really just highly recommend it to play it yourself. Honestly, like the less you know about the game, the more you would enjoy it. But yeah, I really loved it. My favorite character was Sam. She's actually my profile picture right now. Holy shit. Like, wow, her story was a mood. The other protagonist of Shell's story was a mood. Just yeah, they paid a lot of attention to their own their own. Oh, okay. They paid a lot of attention to culture, sexuality. Yeah, it was just really well written. So how you're committed anyway? let's get back to the story. What the? I don't believe it. It's just photograph print, but it seems you can reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of death is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. So yeah, that was what was happening to me this past month. This past week actually. I played a Summer Slam Hong Kong 1986 like last Sunday or something. It's just in my head. Like all the music was just in my head. But okay, back to The Great Ace Attorney. The Great Ace Attorney is also a fictional novel, so as you can see, I like reading fictional novels. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? It is no magic, my dear madame. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Oh. Okay. We'll continue examining the shop, I suppose. I have no idea. Ah. There's a small catch here, just here, look. We're gonna open it, aren't we? Oh my god, the art in the Summer's End is just so fantastic too. Okay, I'll stop fangirling about the game. Let's focus on this game for now. Oh my, that's amazing. It has this sort of spring-loaded mechanism, which will never manage to put back to the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. It feels as though I see something rather similar to this elsewhere. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th April, today's date. Yes, it's not for sale, I must point out. It's an Eastern style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, tear out the front page to reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Windybank. And who was it who walked out of here with a wrong violin before? Well, when the great storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. What? Only 2 pence for a day? Barely know it. The article's spirit was a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Aren't you even had a proper budget on it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Wait, don't we know? I sure recognize her. Oh, yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGood's trial 2 months ago. Gordon Bennett, you lot! Hello, Mrs. Strahd. I hope you've been well. Why are you loading that right now? What? You remember Dana, do ya? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us, nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel? Sorry, Colt, have ya? What is this about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket store experimental smoke grenade launcher. Mr. Sholmes. So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? I'm going to see the article. I should negotiate with Mr. Windybank on your behalf. I'll pull the other one. I don't need no help versus stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, or make trouble for you. As you wish, Mrs. Strahd. I will help you remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? And you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Mrs. Strahd, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. So that's like a really standard ground when she wants to. Yep. Whatever. I guess we'll converse with Gino here. Somehow, I didn't really think you're the sort of person when you use a pawnbroker, Mr. Strahd. Yeah, well, I am, or I am a Londoner just like everyone else. Not a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got into dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over Chevy Chase. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. You're not gonna deny it, Mr. Naruhodo? Alright then, I'm just going to come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, don't know how best answer that really, Suppose, sometimes. You're not gonna deny either, Mrs. Strahd? But not this time, alright? I swear, that thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Windybake is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Mr. Windybake, what exactly is this metal disc that Mr. Stardust brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little buttons on the surface. Ah, it's a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. In a music box? What, you don't even know what a music box is? You Easter folk ain't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is, I've just never seen one of those discs before. The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going and beautiful music plays. It's so incredible, tell us what tune is in this disc. Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There's so many different types of music box you see, British made, German, Swiss. I had no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. Ah, I see. And that's in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies, he told me he did. He said it was, well... He? Who? Never you mind, it just ain't right, that's all. This worth good money, I know it is. Well then, you have to try your luck at another pawnbrokers, don't you? Arg! She's been in here before, of course, this little tatterdemalion. I see. I brought some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. So, is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. A storage ticket, so... Mr. Stardust actually come to read an article for me today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has lots of stuff what needs storing. Alright, yes, it's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been for reading at midnight tonight, but she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest. I was obliged to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windybake. The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. What? What's wrong with that? If it's stolen? I mean, it's mine. So of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? This is something else. A new article to pawn it. The girl and I can agree a price. I'm confused. I thought you said the visitor star bought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owned on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I understand it. That's right, yes, and rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. Oh, you mean... What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am. And she immediately tried to pawn it for quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Give it up. Just try to pawn something like anyone else would. Mr. Strahd, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me? It doesn't really appear to be your size. Me, old man. It's me, old man, ain't it? Is it Mrs. Strahd? Yes, it's definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please. Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen. What's your problem, eh? There was no problem, so long as you remove yourself from a matter to discuss with the appropriator. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I should see outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Look, ain't it obvious they ain't done talking with me yet? If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you're an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket. Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am? The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What, you mean from you? Broker! No, oh, yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demanded for it to be returned at once. Oh my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wasso. And needless to say, any music box disc too. No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me, old man's, or it was. Now it's mine. Goodness, this is Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yes, I think perhaps you should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Oh boy. Mrs. Strahd, is what the gentleman is saying? What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I have never laid eyes on a daddy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? The ticket you brought here just now. No, I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street minding my own business when this little gathering ran into me. I know at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, thought to myself, those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. That is the first time I've been targeted by these back slum scoundrels. Why do you keep twirling around and doing that pose? And now then, relinquish my overcoat. Grrr. Come along now, Mr. Strahd. Get the good gentleman his coat back. If we're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this daddy COVID. Do you think I'm the dodgy one? I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. You what? Evidence that the article Mrs. Estrada redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course, you only consult Mr. Winniebank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant! I'm very sorry, but afraid that won't be possible. Oh. I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. But why not? Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. But then how can you know if the article belongs to the person asking you to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir. Might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's... Let's do a little tour first. Professor. Yes, that's right, and all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. So, about those watchwords, Mr. Moneybank. As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when you deposit items with me. There are many reasons why certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. What is he doing over there? That wasn't exactly some of the glances Mr. Sholme's now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets, not at all. Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and the watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, dedicate the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir, yes, just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already, but for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on 15th February. Oh, and the watchword of Professor. Perfectly correct information, sir. But how? Really, this is beyond a joke now. There's no further room for doubt. Ugh. Excuse me, but who are you? Well, may I accept the inquirer to introduce himself first? Though clearly not British, though perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yes, we're from the Empire of Japan, we're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. What is with this dance moves? Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown colored stoop dressed up like exotic spices. You might be thinking of something more somewhere else. And what's that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyway, if you're a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring before the name of another. Of course. Yes, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Egbert Benedict, not Benedict Cumberbatch, mind you, but Egbert Benedict. Enchanted. He's so refined in how he holds himself, how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. Now, to the matter at hand. Whoa, what's with his dance moves? Whoa, he dances pretty well. My overcoat, return it at once to someone to style to carry it off. Grr, every move he makes, every breath he takes, can't stop watching him. So, let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Edgar Benedict, sir. Whoa! With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grandmas. Just cause I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, Parker. But of course, sir, is this for you? Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another, that is, I deposited another disc? Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, but that was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Guttering, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Who says who, I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye, style. Wait a minute, that this is mine. Arrgh! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, yes, there's blood under this. It's because of sharp little bumps. The man must scratch his finger on them. I'll find it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me, old man. So you're not having it. Oh, you take it. Me? If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again, so keep hold of it. Mrs. Strahd, why is this so important to her? This is deposited to me. You there, in the Black Library, hand that desk to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? What is going on here? Wow, Mr. Star is really looking daggers at the mysterious gentleman. We need to do something to calm things down before she loses control and attacks him again. Sherlock. Herlock. Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. What are you doing? So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruto. Sorry. After the young pickpocket sent me away, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Curly ostracized as the rest of me partook in a jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall has done to me. So, feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets of this desolate place. Well, as you surely absurd, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you understand the depths of my despair, Mrs. Naruto? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I've heard much of your conversation. Or rather, my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes, I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences were correct. Oh, sure you're not about to tell us that you saw the entire case once again. My dear madame, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. But who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Mr. Star and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Let's listen to the deduction. Well, Mr. Star, it would appear you find yourself something a predicament. Where the blue bases have we been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, you gents supposed to be there to help straighten it out an hour later? Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Egbert Benedict, you have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with an attempt to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg, like his name. It would seem that once again Mr. Sholmes made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Alright, here we go. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Mystery Man's Aim. First of all, you must ask yourself on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As the real by which you hold in your hand. Yes, so brought you to the shop in the first place staff recruitment flyer. Wait, what? The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertising for this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there's some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane which you unknowingly clutched to your person exhibits an uncontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is of course the missing ferrule. The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of the stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. I mean, I think you should look at the initials instead, Sherlock. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions arose. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. Why aren't you looking at the initial, Holmes? But, of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod. It's the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at the establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. What? To tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery? No, I really don't. There's more. Great crime. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of the elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that a gentleman intend to excavate the ground beneath his pawnbroker with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I can expect to find there? Whoa, those dance moves though. Some long forgotten treasure, I suppose. Say, for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there's an ample reason. As you're only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your further guidance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and conveniently dig beneath the floor. The answers you have revealed by the council note on the counter to which your eyes are inevitably drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. You know, my voice is like dying, so I think I'm just gonna have to read in my normal voice. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewerage works, beneath the shop runs the sewer that adjoins another one that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. This man has just entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you will gain access to the waterway. And that flows in very close proximity to the Great Vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devise the master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by the dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which grave brings us to the last final chapter's lurid scheme. Yeah, I know my normal voice is like pretty low, but hopefully you understand. Like my voice is like, my throat is like dying. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off with the underground vault at the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, said Mr. Benedict. I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all what we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition? I'm afraid it quite lost me. Currently, in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of the road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime we've been contemplating. It's the theft that which sits in the vault of the bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that was top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. But you just said it. To steal the Great Exhibition reserve funds. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for a detective wrapped in loneliness. Would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and wasn't his fault? Indeed, though few— whoops, I skipped that part. Indeed, though few know of his existence, is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in his strictest confidence. And he just told us? But he just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly in fact. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he's a criminal, as he said, then buying a brand new shop was sure to be the first thing he does now that he revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windybank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. Oh my life, are you sure and not so unscrupulous? Well, hopefully this taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be so sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them. Once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding the next time, Mr. Sholme. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruto. Excellent idea. Well, then Mr. Naruto, you know what to do, I'm sure. Well, yes, this is a great deduction. Let's see if we can massage it to shape. Alright, here we go again. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. First of all, okay, I already read this part, so we could just skip over this. So, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down to the floor. Yes, an intent to tunnel to the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault at the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say that his motives lies elsewhere. The question is where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here in this particular point in time? Okay, let's look. What is this picture? What is this? What is this picture? Oh, look at the little scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gino Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. That picture is that drawing is so cute. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her hat and all. Although if you showed it to her, she fired a small grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of the shop have been written down here too. Windybank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th April, which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have the information scrawled on the back of the piece of paper? Okay, well, I'm gonna present this one. Yes, what brought you here to this trash hop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow, it appeared that the writing is sketched on the reverse of the flyer. Okay, I think my throat is coming back down, so let's go back to higher tones. Pertaining to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Windybank's pawnbroker here. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade, though stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It's the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Windybank's pawnbroker today, the redemption deadline of the overcoat. So you waited outside for a young girl matching the description you had written down to arrive. Huh. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there's some ulterior motive for your actions. What's a furrow? It's a metal cap commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. The bit that makes a nice clacking sound like pavement? Yes, exactly, and Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on his cane, but it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't, though the gentleman certainly did recoil. Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. Alright, let's examine the cane. Look here, Mrs. Otto. There's some letters on the handle. Ah yes, those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So Herlock shows me HS, you mean? That's right. And initials in his cane, obviously. Oh. AG? Why does it feel as if that's not quite right? Okay, why don't we present the initials?
Take that!
The contradiction which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most sincere observation when you say, Mr. Edgar Benedict. We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet in the most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? I don't know, that is such a tongue twister. No, you're wrong, the cane isn't. You said before they had the cane for ears. So don't try to tell us you just borrowed it from a friend and found it at a park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Mr. Strauss redeemed that fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Mr. Strauss with a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Okay. Time to examine. Oh, it's kind of tattered here. Why would you have a tattered overcoat for you? You seem to be pretty rich there, Mr. Egbert. Oh, the seam in his shoulder there is coming apart, look. So it is. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised at something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. But now I think it's probably the sound of the seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The seams are starting to burst and you wouldn't have hope of fastening in the front. If we were to run around it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. That I'd like to see. Sorry? So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around? She's really giving this some thought. Alright, presenting this. The split seam, which you have evidently like to conceal, is the key to understanding this readily, see? Ah. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions arose from the outset. When you boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalog of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Windybank. That twirl though! Yo, he pretty sus, but his dance moves pretty bopping. But what really irks me is this. The considerable grind I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. Well, I'm topic 2, I suppose. To upsong with a redeemed item. Solved. Alright, on to the next one. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. What? Maybe it's the gun? Oh, wow. I don't know. Let's, which is a pity because it all sounded rather exciting. Okay, let's examine that desk. Anyway, which you can't deny this mysterious gentleman didn't know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Winnipeg would never allow you to redeem the article. Or looking at it another way. If you did know that word, Mr. Winnipeg will allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman found a watchword out somehow? Maybe he looked at it. Look at this, Mrs. Otto. Oh, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Winnipeg has scribbled to himself. Let's see. What's it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Winnipeg must make a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And an alarmingly clear scripted as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see?
Take that!
The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes are inevitably drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response to it on the notelet he has to hand. Then, he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you're present in this shop before an accusation against Mrs. Strahd. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and observed her talking to Mr. Winnipeg. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, he observed her writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan he devised to seal the pawn article for the young Mrs. Strahd. But master plan! the twirl is so impressive. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets, which according to Mr. Winnipeg isn't even worth a penny, and yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain to Mr. Naruhodo. Could we? Really? I better have a thorough look through all the evidence we collected so far. The metal disc. Okay, let me just examine this. Okay. Oh, there's a note here. At the back. For McGilded? McGilded? The dude who just died? Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck in the reverse side of the desk hook. A scribbled word or two. Looks like somebody's name. For McGilded. McGilded? Can it be? But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? Holy shit. Da-dun. They're so tiny. Yes, the churches are called pins, and they plug the teeth of the cone to make notes. Just on the edge is a small amount of blood. Yes, and the blood of the mysterious Mr. Edgar Benedict. When Mrs. Starr tried to grab this one, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish, accidentally catch your finger. Ouch! Just thinking about it hurts. Puts me off eating radish. Okay. Alright, presenting this. I should have examined it first. You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads for McGilded. Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago, a prominent man in London, though his law marjoring Thomas's distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGill was a man of unusually small stature, in fact. He was precisely the right size for the overcoat that you squeeze yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Edgar Benedict, but the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason came to his pawnbrokery today. Was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Arg! Alright. Deduction. Conclusion. To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Solved! Elementary.